Right, I think we're starting recording as you did our initial prayer. So Mark, as you knew here, we study together, okay? I will share my, let me see here. I'm gonna share my screen, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And let me put this here and there. So we are on the half part of the chapter 2, first book.
Very good.
The Spirit's book, and you are about to start on question the 25th, okay?
Very good.
Mark, can you see us good? Can you see the screen?
I can. And I will, interestingly enough, I will share with you, my center in Northern California just began the formal study of the Spirit's book for like the first time in 5 years, they said.
Oh, that's nice. In English?
And we, in English, and we are just at, where are we? 7 through 11 or 7 through 13 for this Thursday. So
oh, that's nice.
the timing is very good.
It's very good, right? Okay, so I'm starting then. I have a sequence here in my screen that I can see you guys, so everybody has a chance to read and comment the answers. And as I said, it's just a study. Yeah, I mean, to get more engaging. So, question 25, it's asking, oh, this part, by the way, is getting deep. Just let you know. Is the spirit independent of matter? Or it's only a property, as colors are a property of light and sound is a property of air? And the answer is they are distinctive from one another, but the union of the spirit and matter is vital to give intelligent activity to matter. So as you learned before, they are distinctive, the matter and the spirit, two separate things. But in order to give life to the matter, in this case, the body, we need the spirit. Okay, as you have learned in some questions before. And let me just finish, then you can comment more. So, and then I have like another question inside of this question. A, is this union also necessary for the manifestation of the spirit? And Kardec explained, spirit here refers to the principle of intelligence, rather than a spiritual individuality is usually designed by that term. The principle of intelligence that you learn before, that is attribute of the spirit, intelligence attribute of the spirit. So Kardec asks, if this union of the matter and the spirit is necessary to the manifestation on the matter. And the spirit's answer, for you, for us here in the earth, yes, because your physical makeup is not designed to perceive the spirit apart from the matter. You're not able. Your senses are not designed for that. So it's very important to understand what the spirit says for you. That fits for us and the situation that we live here. As more involved, as the spirit evolves, probably this definition is going to change as well. As we are here, so that's make more sense in this moment. Somebody want to say something? Oh. Okay, so question 26. Samantha, can you read it, please?
Can a spirit be conceptualized without matter and vice versa? of course, by thought. Short and simple, right? Of course, by thought. So I don't know exactly what he means with that. Of course, by thought. Is that like when we do the mediunic work, when we do when we have the communication from the spirits?
Yes, this is one of the situations as well. But when you said by thought, because in the question 25, Kardec asked if the spirit is independent of matter, and if for the union of the matter and spirit is to manifestate, is necessary this union. And Kardec said, for you, yes, because we can, our sense, or the material senses in general, we can design the spirit if you don't have the body and the spirit together. But then we can have an idea, or you can have a contact, or you can imagine it, spirits without the matter. Yes, we can, by thought. So when you go deeper actually in the study, and we have I think last Wednesday, when you have the lecture from the Brazilian guy, and he were explaining about dreams and those kind of things. So one of the examples is when you go to sleep, and now spirit emancipated from the body to other spirits. So when a spirit communicated with us, they don't use the mouth, they don't use gestures, it's by thought.
Okay.
Even you can see, like, mediums that you can see spirits, manifested by like talking, but it's by thought, because they don't have the material body, right? So that's why you can conceptualize without matter, by thought.
And also maybe we can include the prayer in there, right?
Everything by thought, actually.
Yeah.
You create it. Yeah, a prayer is a good one, actually.
Mm-hmm.
All right, anybody else?
They do communicate by thought. Also, at least in my experience, it's very empathic. They know what you feel.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying it's like this all the time with all spirits, but when I had communication, it was like when I was communicating back, or if they were to communicate something to me, not only are they aware of thought of what I want to convey, they're aware of what I'm feeling. It's like they see very deeply into you. It's a very deep form of communication.
It is. It is. Yeah.
Well, that's my experience.
And the thing is that when they feel it, our feelings, it's by the energy, and by our thoughts. All right, Jim, you're the next. And the long one, of course, is for you. So 27, can you read it? Oh, I think he got
Uh-oh.
frozen. Jim, don't go.
You want me to fill in? Do 27?
Yep. I think he's coming back.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
I don't know. Let's see.
I won't
Jim?
cut in line.
We can hear you, Jim.
He has the mute on.
No, I didn't. It went
There
on.
we go.
Can you hear me now?
There he is.
There he is. Now I can hear you. So can you read the 27, please?
Of course.
Thank you.
Therefore, Are there two general elements of the universe, matter and the spirit? Yes, and God, the creator of all things, is above them. These three elements are the principles of all that exists, the universal trinity. However, the universal fluid must be added to the material element. It acts as the intermediary, my English is not so good sometimes, between spirit and matter, as the body is too crude for the spirit to be able to act directly on it. Although this fluid may be classified as part of the material element from another perspective, it is distinguished by certain special properties.
Oh, they got a frozen. He got a frozen again. Maybe his internet. Maybe he's coming back. Ah, Jim. Okay, Rob, so you read it. So when he came back, maybe he can do the next one.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take it back from the top. All right. Therefore, are there two general elements of the universe, matter and the spirit? Yes, and God, the creator of all things, is above them. These three elements are the principle of all that exists, the universal trinity. However, the universal fluid must be added to the material elements. It acts as the intermediary between spirit and matter, as the body is too crude for the spirit to be able to act directly on it. Although this fluid may be classified as part of the material element from another perspective, it is distinguished by certain special properties. If it were simply classified as matter, there would be no reason why the spirit could not also be classified as matter. It is something placed between the spirit and matter. It is fluid, just as matter is material, and through countless combinations under the action of the spirit, it can produce an infinite variety of things of which you only know a very small portion. Without this universal, primitive, or elementary fluid, the agent employed by the spirit, matter would permanently remain divided and would never acquire the properties given to it by gravity.
Yep.
A, is this fluid what we call electricity? We have said that it is open to countless blends or arrangements. What you call electric fluid, magnetic fluid, and so on are modifications of the universal fluid, which is only matter of a more perfect and subtle nature. It may be regarded as being independent.
So what do you think?
Go ahead, Rob. You give an explanation.
Well, yeah, I mean, right. So matter is inert. It can't do anything on its own. It doesn't have a principle of movement or action or energy in and of itself, is what I get. That is the domain of the spirit, but the spirit can't directly act upon matter. So this fluid is essentially what is used to act upon the matter, to organize it, and in all the different ways that we're aware of it being organized, including to give life to our bodies, as it were, that we're residing in. So yeah, I mean, they used to call it the ether in physics before that fell out of fashion with Einstein and
Yep.
theory of relativity and stuff. But I don't think they've ever actually really disproven that it exists. And
Mhm.
what they do now is they try to come up with a lot of crazy math to figure out, you know, and
What it
and
is.
postulate a million different dimensions because for stuff that can't be explained by the physics paradigm now, but which was explained when they used to when all the physicists used to believe in ether.
Yeah.
In the in the East they call it chi or ki. Um, a radical naturalist slash psychiatrist in the West in like the 40s and 50s, Wilhelm Reich, called it orgone energy. Mesmer called it magnetism, right? So it's all the same stuff.
It's all the same stuff. It's
Prana, the
yeah.
Indians call it prana.
It's important when you brought out about the word, because electricity was a word that they can use it by the time to explain it. And we have to remember this book was in 1857. So we have developed another words to describe the same thing, energy as energy. So they used to use the electricity as explanation. And there is one of the important part here, because the elements, it's matter, actually, God, spirit, and matter. And I believe the spirits put like, although this fluid may be classified as part of the material element for another perspective, because in order to understand something that is no matter and no spirit, we have to put in some classification. But then they say it distinguished by certain special properties. And those properties, we don't know yet. I was reading last week about like science on that. How they are breaking the molecules. Molecules. I have a hard time to say this word, molecules. And they already had in a part, they just find out in a part that I'm not gonna say the name because it's a weird name. I don't know in English how to say. And they know they have more divisions after this part, that they are breaking down molecules to see what is there. But they don't have tools yet to break more, but they know that it can break more parts. Because I believe the point is to know the base, we call it fluid, of everything. And the beauty on this, that this book was wrote down in 1857. And nowadays you talk about things like this, that this element, they have certain property, but we simply classify as matter. And I think further, they're gonna explain that what we understand by matter is just the basic. There are other properties that they can call matter, but we don't have no idea what it is. And there is the beginning. And what caught my attention is in 1857, they're already talking about this. Of course, it's from the spirits, but if a scientist take this book, say, whoa, wait a second, what are they talking about in 1857? Something that now we're researching about it. That's the way you can prove points and things.
And adding to what Sue Ellen is saying right now, that's something that she told me this morning, that our table of elements that we know, that we study at school, is just pretty much a fraction of the elements that exist out there. And you don't have to go even like to the space, to elements they're like out of this earth, out of this orb. But like even on earth, our table of elements are just a fraction of the elements that actually exist around us. because we talk about fluid, universal fluid, but we cannot measure, we cannot see it, you know, so our progress is not that high to the point that we have tools and even the knowledge to understand what it is. So it's crazy when you start thinking how small we are, you know.
But you're getting there, hopefully.
On the passes book that we were studying, we kind of went over that too.
Yeah,
The
when you're talking
fluids.
about magnetism, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
There's the same thing. Yeah. All right, Jim, you're back.
I'm back. I keep getting knocked out. I don't know why, but I'm back.
All right, so now I give you the question 28, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Since the spirit itself is something, would it be more accurate and less confusing to call these two general elements inert matter and intelligent matter? Words are of little importance to us. You must formulate your expressions so that you may understand one another. Your disputes almost always rise from the lack of a common agreement over the use of words. Yeah, I know that, my brother and I, let me tell you. Because your language is incapable of describing that which descends your senses. Wow. One obvious fact governs all our hypotheses. Matter in and of itself is not intelligent. Therefore, we see an intelligent principle independent of matter. The origin and connection of these two elements are unknown to us. As to whether they have a common source or the necessary points of contact, whether intelligence has an independent existence or is only a property of an effect, or even whether it is an emanation of the divinity. We have no answers for these questions. They appear to be distinct to us, and we therefore consider them to be two crucial elements of the universe. We see a supreme intelligence above all this that governs all things and has distinguished them by essential attributes. This supreme intelligence is what we call God.
What do you think,
So,
Jen?
the connection, is that the fluid? Because I missed the earlier half.
Yeah, on the previous question, we were talking about the fluid because it's, the spirit says it's three elements, because Kardec asks, is matter and spirits the two elements? And the spirit, yes. And the third one is God, actually. God is spirit and matter. But everything that is originating, everything that we know, that you can see, that you can touch, is originated by this fluid, the universal, primitive, whatever fluid. And to us better understand, the Spirit says, although this fluid may be classified as part of the material element from another perspective, it is distinguished by certain special properties. This property that you're talking about on the 28th, we don't know. That you just read it.
Wow.
What do you think?
It's pretty deep. I mean, it gets very intricate. And
It's almost like we have to read like 10 times to understand, right?
Oh, Jean got frozen again.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. So
Because every time you read, there is a different
actually in 100 years, when you read this again, like, maybe now we have the close idea what it is. But the thing is, as they said, as to whether they have a common source or necessary points of contact, whether intelligence has independent exist or is only a proper or an effect, or even whether it's an emanation of divinity, they have no answers. Not yet.
But they did mention there's like a form of matter that's a little different also than what we look at as matter.
Yes, there is the point. Because they said, I think next question I'm gonna say that, but what we understand about matter is very limited.
Yeah.
You know, it's basically this. We can classify as matter as you know, but from our point of view, like the spirit's point of view is a different thing. I mean, those elements that you don't know yet.
Yeah.
They exist.
It's like, in my opinion, it's like if you go back to the 1500s, right? When countries and continents were being discovered, and somehow we'll be able to go back on the time with a flashlight, with a simple flashlight, and literally go in front of these people from the 1500s and the Indians, for example, and just turn that on. How are you gonna explain a flashlight to a person that lives in the 1500s? It's pretty much that's it. Now we understand there's some batteries, they're made from lithium, there is a metal shell, there is a bulb, there's a light inside that we connect this thing called batteries with the right side, it makes light, right? But they don't even know what battery is. They don't even know what, I don't know, like electrical connection is. So
they don't even know electricity.
if they come to me and say like, oh, that's coming from, it's light from God, or it's like the sun, for example, they make this similarity of like comparison of, it's like the sun, it shines like the sun. I would say like, okay, for you, light comes from the sun. Let's leave it this way for now. I think it's the same thing.
Definitely, that's a good explanation, actually. yeah. If you go back and just thinking about how we'd explain things that we have right now for people like 300-400 years ago, we should say, for you, yeah, that's gonna be the answer. But let's leave this for now. You know. Okay, so now it's Thiago time.
One question.
We're going to start now the properties of matter. Question 29.
Is ponderability an essential attribute of matter? The answer is yes. For matter as you understand, but not matter that is considered the universal fluid. The ethereal and subtle matter forming this fluid cannot be measured by you, and yet it is the source of your matter that can be weighed. Explanation. Gravity is a relative property beyond the realm of gravitational pull between planets and stars. There is no such a thing as weight, just as there neither up nor or down. I think it kind of comes back to the explanation of the flashlight that I gave it to you. So like it is really tough. I can even imagine like the spirit, they have to be so enlightened to come to us and try to explain something for us that like it's like explaining something for a kid. It's literally because we're kids, spiritual kids. So like this space, he says here, there is no weight or either up or down. So by the vocabulary that we have, yes, gravity, it is what you think, but for us, it's a completely different thing. What I think is really nice about all this is the sensitivity, how nice they are explaining stuff for us and not let us being like, look so stupid. You know, they explain everything so nice, and like when it gets to a point, it's like, hey, by the way, let's stop right here. Then maybe in the future you understand. So
I like this question. That's the part that they say, as you understand it. If like ponderability, it's everything that you can touch. So I can call matter if I can touch, if I can see, if I can feel. Can I call matter? They say yes, for matter as you understand it. Basically that, but not matter that is considered the universal fluid. Everything that is forming, everything cannot, those, the theory and the subtle of matter forming that is still matter, the fluid cannot be measured. Not yet. And when Kardec gave the example of gravity, here, you know, makes sense, but between planets and star, there's no such a thing as weight. Just there is neither up or down. If you go out of the earth, can you say something up or something down? It's not gonna make sense.
It's scientifically proved already that like I weigh 185 pounds on Earth, but on Mars I'll weigh something different. It's pretty much.
Yeah, so and you have to understand that things can be the same as you understand, but depends where they are, they can be different, but they can still call the same thing. As they said, well, you can call matter everything that you can touch, that you can see. But for us, it's different. So you're getting there, basically, I think, I believe.
That's why in a lot of the answers they say, as you understand it, because it's for you. That answer is for you, not for everyone else, right?
Yeah, I mean, the answer is for the level that you guys are right now. Yes, that you can understand. All right, I think you have time for one more. So Samantha, can you read it, 30?
Yeah. Is matter composed of one or several elements? One single primordial element. The bodies that you see as simple are not truly elements, but a transformation of the primordial matter. Wait, one single primordial element. The bodies that you see as simple are not truly elements, but
I think
transformation of the primordial matter.
The primordial element, they just changed it, I don't know why, but it's the same thing of the universal fluid. Just change for universal fluid.
Oh, they changed it?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Okay.
It's called universal fluid, primitive fluid, primordial element.
Okay. So it's basically what we were talking about before. It can be constitute. It's not just one thing. You can't just put like he's saying here. The body is not just one simple. It's not one thing, right? It's constituted of a few elements, correct? Transformation of the primordial matter, which is the fluid.
Yeah, the base of everything.
That's how it starts.
Yeah. And the nice thing is the bodies that you see as simple are not true elements, but transformations of the primordial matter. Like the molecule that you see as let's see, the primordial element. No, it's still just a transformation of something that we don't know. That I think that I was talking about of this article that I read, and they breaking down all the molecules, and they know that they can still break it. They got to a point that they don't have tools yet developed to still breaking it, because they know it's something else there. They just found out that yeah, it's something there, but you have to work on the tool to still break the molecule and see, where you're gonna end up.
How far do you want to go?
Yeah, it's basically that.
Okay.
I think you can say 32, right? Yes, you still have time. It's not like a long answer. So Rob, can you read it, 32?
32. All right. According to this interpretation, are favors, odors, colors, sounds, and the toxic or beneficial qualities of bodies solely the result of modifications of the same basic substance? Answer: precisely. These senses only exist according to to the design of the organs intended to perceive them. This principle is demonstrated by the fact that everyone does not perceive the qualities of material items in the same manner. While something may appear to taste good to one person, it may be horrible to another. What appears blue to one person appears red to another. That which is poisonous for some is harmless, or even healthy for others. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think that goes back to the thing about how there's no up and down and left and right and that kind of thing, like in the spirit world, because those are all perceptions that are defined and confined by the particular material bodies that, you know, that we have in the material world. So that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good explanation. Eh? When I read it like this, it's like, yeah, there is a thing. So, as Kardec has the modification of the same basic substance, yes, everything's a modification of the substance. That's why this precept precisely. But the sense is designed from the organs, you know, intend to perceive them. And everybody has, you can recognize qualities of things as I see things or feel the things. It could be different from another person and still the same thing. Nope. That's like come back to the up and down out of the earth. I think I like this chapter. I think like Kardec put this chapter for us in general, for him as well, to understand the base. Then in the next chapter is when you start talking about spirits and those kind of things, you have more the knowledge and the idea what you're talking about it. Because if you go jump in the spirits already, so it's gonna have so many questions about it, and you have to understand the base first. That is very base actually. Then you can go more deep.
Can I just
Go ahead.
what? Sorry. So just I had to read this question like twice in English and Portuguese so I can kind of understand. The way that he put it here, for me, it makes sense that like he says, the odors, the colors, the sound, they will all be the same, but we are different. The way we perceive them are different. That's why for some people, we see blue and the other see red, and one's is sweeter and the other. We are different, but the matter is the same. Is that what I understood? You guys understand the same way?
Well, I'll give you my understanding, okay? Yes, you are totally right. We're gonna be different on the spiritual world. Because the way that I see this, because when you go a little deeper on the next chapters, it's gonna start to talk about the relationship between the spirits, right? Like, and he mentioned there's swelling won't be my girlfriend. There's nothing mine in the spiritual world. It's not like that's gonna be, oh, this is my husband or this is my girl, this is my mother. No, it's everything us. It's all about us. So I think on this chapter, he's starting from the basic knowledge of matter, of spirit, of feeling, of senses, and then we got to move on to relationships. But I think you're right. Like, we are gonna change once we on the spiritual world. We're gonna see this stuff not even better, but like more, I would say, enhanced. That's what
The point is, Samantha, as you said, is that when the spirit answered this part, this principle is demonstrated by the fact that everyone does not perceive the qualities of material items in the same manner. We don't. While something may appear, taste good for a person, doesn't taste good for another, not. In our world and the words that we use. And because the sense only exists according to the design of the organs intend to perceive them. our organs, our feelings, we see things, taste things, feel things differently from the same matter. Yes.
I see different than you, and yeah.
As you said, yeah, Isara, as you said. All right, I think I have just 2 minutes. And let me highlight this. You're going to start on the 33.
33 is very good, and it really gives a lot of elaboration on what we've covered too.
Okay, oh, look this.
That's why you're gonna start number 33, Jim.
Look, it's starting explanation of Kardec on the science side. He goes another question, and then another huge explanation by here, the science side.
So you starting next week
So you start next week, Jim.
with the
All
principle
right.
right there. Oxygen,
Okay.
hydrogen.
Hydrogen, oxygen, substance, all those things that are going to explain.
Okay.
When I was like reading those questions today, I was like, oh, just 10 questions. Then I said, maybe not. Is that gonna get deeper and deeper? It's not just like just 10 questions, not as such a thing in the Spirit's book, just 10 questions. 2 questions, you can like take a lot.
The Asian philosophies really say the same thing as we're reading here. Of course, they have different names. They're not, they don't complicate things, but
Good.
basically they're saying the same principle here as we're reading here.
Yes, as Kardec said, I mean, you guys have getting an agreement of words, you know, to make sense for everybody, because somebody in the South is going to say something, somebody in the North is going to say something else, but both is the same thing, you know?
Mhm.
As I said, like they don't complicate things. That's why I love Asians. All right, so in 2 weeks, right? We are going to pick it up on the 33. So let's do the final pray. Samantha, you do?
Yeah.
I love your praise.
They're not as pretty as yours, but
No,
I'll do it.
Doug's is prettiest.
Okay, so let's go ahead and close our eyes one more time. Let's elevate our energy, elevate our thoughts to our big brother Jesus. Let's thank him for the opportunity to be here, all of us together this afternoon, to study a little bit more, to become better Christians, to understand a little bit more where we came from, and to be able to work in our progress. Let's thank the spirituality that is always with us, protecting us, guiding us through our day. Let's thank for our health, for our wealth, for the home that we have, for the food that is in our table, for the clothes that we wear every day. Let's never forget to thank for those things that sometimes we take for granted. Let's ask the good spirits to guide us, to be able to help the others around us, those lost souls, so much need, that they might find in our homes the light that they need to progress and to go to the help that they look for. Thank you to everyone that is this afternoon, and so be it.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Rob. Thank
you.
you, Jim. Thank you, Samantha. Nice
We
to
miss
see
you guys.
We miss you guys. We love internet things, but I want to see you guys face to face.
Soon.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
I miss you. All right, so you see in 2 weeks, okay?
Okay.
Right.
Be
Have a good
safe.
night.
Take care of yourselves, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.